Hello, my fellow humans. Welcome back to another daily dice. We ask the dice for a question and find out what that is. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you, and anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that, today we are getting a message from the ancestors. It's actually, your ancestors have a golden key for you. So we're going to find out what that is. We're using the Ancestor Spirit Oracle cards by Jade Sky today. So let's see, ancestors, what is the golden key that you have for my fellow humans? What would you like them to know? Ancestors, what is the golden key that you have for my fellow humans? What would you like them to know? All right. What oracle card will help us better understand the golden key? Wow, thank you. Flying in like nobody's business. That's what that was. All right, we have teach and share on the bottom with instill, instruct, and educate. Okay. So teaching a lesson here is what I first heard when I flipped that over. So let's find out. Ancestors, what is the golden key that you have for my fellow humans today? What would you like them to know? Ancestors, what is the golden key that you have for my fellow humans today? What would you like them to know? Okay, so we've got the second house, Virgo energy, and Mars. Okay. Yep. Taking the lead. You're here to teach something to others. And it's like this very patient energy here that's coming through this. Like, you know, when a teacher teaches very young kids, they have to be very patient. Like, you can't just put someone in there who gets irritated very easily. Right? People who can't handle young kids, like, they're just not good to teach young kids, right? And that's okay. That's not for everyone, and we understand that. But that's the energy that I'm getting, is that it's almost like you're this incredibly advanced soul that's been sent here to teach these new souls here that are very rowdy and rambunctious and have so much energy that there's like mid-level souls that have gone through quite a few lifetimes, but they haven't gotten, had that huge exponential growth. And they can't handle the people that are new souls here. Like, they just can't. They're like, nope, I can't. And you're like the teacher that's sent in, that's giving this wisdom to new souls, and new souls are ready and they're eager to receive that. But there's still like this, I feel like in the balance. That's what I keep hearing, is like in the balance. And it's being said like that as well. And so it's where people are listening to you. There's also people who are just like feeling like you don't know what you're talking about, or feeling like you don't know what to say. And that's not to trigger you here, right? That's not what they're saying here. Your ancestors are trying to give you this key and saying, doesn't matter what people say. Be the leader. Be the leader. Show by example. Show by your experience. Show that you too have your hand in the fire. Show that you aren't afraid to be in the trenches with them. Show them and lead by example. Don't be the person that says, do as I do, not as I... do as I say, not as I do. Be the person that says, let me show you, and then we'll do it together. And with this Virgo energy, it's like that patience. You have patience times 1,000. And it's a very comforting energy, right? Like, even just this reading right now, it's very comforting to be connected to your energy. It's very, yeah, like, okay, this is cool. Like, there's no need to be like, oh my gosh, I got the jitters, I gotta go. Like, that's not the type of energy that you have. You're very slow moving, slow deciding, very, very mature, right? Very old soul. Wouldn't be surprised if you've been told that by people. Like, you just have a soul that's beyond your years. And you're very magnetic, and a lot of people are naturally attracted to you, and people will approach you out, like complete strangers probably approach you when you're out and about, and suddenly they're telling you their whole life story. And you're just kind of like, wow, okay, You know, I wasn't expecting that today, but here we go. I've got this person's life story, and you might say some things to them, and you're a naturally healing person, but it's being out and about with people like that. It's doing your service, and you're showing people by actually connecting in that way. So it's like if you're at a grocery store and a person approaches you and you have this conversation with a complete stranger, whoever's around your vicinity, whether you recognize it or not, they're actually all eyes on you as you're interacting with this stranger. And it's this energy of you're teaching others that this is okay. And especially in this day and age, you know, we've kind of like, after everything that's happened in the last few years, in the last 5 years, is people are just more and more distant and segregated from one another than they ever have been. And, you know, they can't even talk to one another anymore, and they can't even connect with one another anymore. It's like all we have are our devices. We don't have this human contact anymore. Someone doesn't want me to say this to you, because it just felt like someone kicked my throat. It's kind of an interesting feeling. But yeah, it's like there's either an energy around you that's really mad that people always approach you, or there's other energies out there that are in a very low vibrational state that they see you shining so bright, and they don't want someone to be that way, because well, there's jealousy, there's just fear of not being seen themselves. There's all kinds of triggers that people have, right? And so a source is saying, like, don't focus, again, that idea, don't focus on where those negative energies are, or what they're saying, what they're doing. Don't even don't get connected with those readings, right? Unless you feel really called to watch one of those readings. But you know how sometimes you'll get like, what are people saying about me behind my back? And you'll go and you'll watch one reading, and then you have to watch another reading, and then another reading, and another, and pretty soon you've gone down this rabbit hole, and 6 hours later you're like, holy crap, like I watched way too many of these readings, right? And that's because they're designed to draw you in, because we're naturally nosy. Why do you think drama is like one of the number one genres in the world? It's like because people are drawn to that, right? And so the egregore has kind of grown beyond its own, and it's become its own monster. And so that's what they're saying. It's like that in and of itself is its own monster. And so instead of focusing on those negative people, instead of focusing on those low vibrational people, we want to make you aware, right? Your ancestors are saying we want to make you aware. But the key here is to focus back on your abilities and your strengths. Yeah. The Hermit in reverse, not wanting to do the work. Look, nosiness. Wow. Let's just be real. The 5 of Cups in the reverse, it talks about nosiness, getting your nose in other people's business. It's like so much. Oh, thank you so much, ancestors, for clarifying that, confirming that energy right away with the tarot. You know, and the Hermit here is just showing like it's easy to shine a light on this energy, right? It's very easy, but when it's in the reverse, all we're focused on is like, well, what are they saying? Why are they saying it? Why is that happening? Like, I didn't do anything to them. Like, we start going down this negative spiral ourselves, rather than just being like, look, wherever those people are on their journey, and whatever those people have got going on in their life, that's theirs to deal with. I don't care if they I tell people this all the time, because they're like, did you know what so-and-so said about you? And I will say to them, I'm like, I don't care. And they're like, well, and I said, I don't want to know. I said, and the thing is I'll tell people, I don't care if they tell everybody that I am the horror of the face of this planet. As far as I'm concerned, whatever they say about me is true, because I don't have enough time, energy, or effort to prove them wrong. I don't. I don't care what people say about me. But to get to this point, it took a lot of practice, and it took a lot of patience with myself, and it took a lot of owning who I was. And that's kind of this energy where your ancestors are trying to give you this key where it's like you need to get so comfortable with yourself that no amount of gossip or nosiness or people trying to like knock you off of the track, knock you off your path will ever bother you or even ruin your day. Like even if someone came up to you and just said, you're a sniveling bitch or asshole, you know, like it shouldn't matter. None of that should matter. You could just probably just stand at them, look at them and laugh and be like, yeah, you're right, and walk away. Because I tell you what, that's going to bother them more than you being like, oh, no, I'm not. Because that's when they got you on the hook. It's a bait tactic. And that's exactly what it feels like here. It's like their energy is baiting you to not focus on yourself, to not focus on what's good for you, to not focus on where you want to. And maybe that's something that's happened in the past and your ancestors have been trying to help lead you beyond that. And I do feel like you've been slowly getting out. Like I said, everything you do is very intentional and slow. So even moving away from toxic patterns is very intentional and slow. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's through that process that you're actually teaching others a very valuable lesson. We've got the 4 of coins in the bottom and the upright. Building a very stable foundation here, right? So it doesn't matter how much of this is surrounding you. At the end of the day, you have to be so comfortable with yourself. And of course, you don't want to stay in toxic situations your whole life just for the sake of staying, right? Like, but there are also a lot of circumstances that I feel like the spiritual community doesn't talk about where people are, it's out of their control that they're in a toxic situation. It's not that they don't have choices. It's just sometimes there are circumstances outside of our control. And so if you have a situation that's like that right now, what your ancestors are saying is to really focus on grounding yourself and being so okay with who you are in this moment, that it doesn't matter if you're in a toxic situation or not, that toxicity won't ever affect you. And I know not everybody agrees with that, but just through my own experiences in my own life, I've learned that sometimes we can't just up and pack our bags and leave a toxic situation as soon as we recognize it. And sometimes we can. But we have to leave space for both situations and know that both situations still serve a higher purpose to our finding balance within ourselves. And, you know, it's like if we continue to run away from all of the toxic things in life, because sometimes we will run away from it, then every time something toxic comes into our life, instead of standing our ground and facing it, we'll be running away from it. And so it does feel like there's someone here or a group of you that aren't able to leave a very toxic situation right now. And so there's some kind of lesson that you're receiving here to face it. And that's why I'm saying, like, your patience is outstanding. And it's probably because of this situation or are tons of situations like this that has created you to be this very patient person. Look at that. We've got exam flipping over here with diagnostics, certificates, election, and registration. But exam, it's like you're passing this life exam, right? And there's a lot. There's all these paperwork and all these books by her, all this paperwork by her, right? So there's a lot that's been going on. And I feel like right now it's a situation that you have to go through in order to be able to stand on the next level that life has for you. Yeah, we've got fire on the bottom with purity underneath that. Okay, so we have innocence, holiness, humility, and virtue, and then carnival, celebration, and ceremony. You're being purified. Your ancestors are giving you the key to purify your soul, to purify your journey, to be able to leave situations like this when it best serves you, not just for the sake of it. Oh my gosh, it's toxic, I gotta run away. Like, we have to, as a spiritual community, we need to begin looking at that as its own toxic trait, because it is. It's saying, oh, you don't ever have to deal with anything toxic, which we don't. But the truth is that we're in a very dualistic nature world. So toxicity is going to find us no matter where we go. So instead of saying we need to run away from it, let's find ways to focus our healing on dealing with it when it comes up and finding the best solution for each of us as we go. So we've got house 8, exactly. Transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. So clearing out those karmic cycles, facing your fears, right? We don't want to run away. We want to face them, right? So we've got sextile flipping over with a combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. So right now there's a lot of give and take. Right? There's a lot of give and take, and it might not feel like anything is giving to you. It might feel like everything is taking from you, but it's actually the wisdom that you're receiving from the situation. That's what's being given to you, and that's not something that this person or the situation is giving you. It's from the observation that you're standing in, and the self-awareness that you're standing in, that's allowing that energy and that wisdom to come through. And we have Sagittarius energy here with optimism, exploration, and freedom. So yeah, you're a very free soul. I feel like you're very free-spirited, but you're just so patient. You're so darn patient. And that you might be like, that's my biggest curse. I'm too patient. And don't ever look at it that way. That's actually a huge gift. And especially in this world that is constantly on the go and has no patience for anything. I mean, people at restaurants, sometimes you see them and someone gets a wrong drink and they be flipping out. Like I saw someone the other day and she's telling the waiter, and she came in for some sort of roll or something like that. And he's like, sorry, we stopped serving those like last week or something like that because of the holidays. And she's like, are you kidding me? And she flipped out on him. She's like, I drove a half an hour just to get that, so I don't want anything else here. And she took it out on the waiter, and it's like, that's not his fault. Like, it was just policy. It was whatever they chose as a company to do. But it's like, that's a lack of patience in my mind. It's like, instead of just pivoting, you project. And I feel like a lot of people are in that. And that's why it's so valuable for you to have a patient soul, because when stuff like that comes up, you're able to pivot instead of project. And other people are more about projecting rather than pivoting. Yeah, threat. Didn't I say like a lot of people might be intimidated by you too? They might be threatened by you. We have feud, natural enemy, and deadly threat. Yeah, so people will come. There's going to be people who are going to say all kinds of things about you. Just let them. Gosh, I can't with this. Like, sources really being clear. Your ancestors are really being clear here. You know, the rumors, speculation, slander, let them talk. Let them talk. Who cares what they have to say? Because at the end of the day, your success is going to speak louder than anything else. Gratitude. Yeah, just be grateful. Grateful for your ability to know what's good for you. You're grateful to be where you're at. Grateful for the talent you have, the skill you have. We have appreciate, thank you, and cherish. Cherish that you're learning these valuable lessons too. Let's take a look at your ancestor card here and see what it says. Go after your goals, persist, encourage, and advance. Again, showing them you're not afraid to get into battle, right? You came ready for battle. Like, you came ready to fight for you, right? And showing other people that you fight for you, even when things get hard, that is one of the most amazing things that we can do. That helps give people who feel like they don't have anything left courage. It's like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it too. This is born in 1274. Robert the Bruce claimed the Scottish throne and led an uprising against English rule. Thus, he is known as the father of Scottish independence. Robert the Bruce suffered many defeats on the way to establishing his authority, taking lead. Oh, I love this. He bided his time before moving forward to become King of Scotland. He was defeated twice in battle by the English before he went into hiding on a remote island off the coast of Ireland. It is said that he often became depressed during his time on the island. Then one day he saw a spider in his room. Robert the Bruce sat and watched the spider swinging from rafter to rafter, trying to make its web. It wasn't until its 17th attempt that the spider succeeded in making an anchor for its web. Robert the Bruce saw the spider as a sign that he must keep persevering for Scotland's independence. He then moved forward with his cause and was successful. The ancestors speak. Take charge and move forward in your life. The universe is encouraging you to pursue something that is important to you. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. Go after it. You've been consciously working on yourself, and you are now ready to take on anything you want to achieve. Do not hesitate. Take this card as a sign that you can do more and be more. Stand up for your beliefs. Stand your grounded. Do not be swayed by opposing ideologies. Just as the universe endeavors to raise your spirits, it is time for you to encourage and inspire others. A little positivity goes a long way. Try to support your loved ones, friends, or anyone you come into contact with. You may not realize how much it means to a person to have someone believe in them. A kind word can keep someone going through hard times so that they reach their goals. Didn't I just say that before I started reading this card? You doing this helps them say, like, well, if they can do it, then I can do it too. And I was talking about, like, if you meet someone in the store, like you talking to a stranger in the store with kindness, that impacts everyone that sees that. right? So you might not realize how much of an impact that you have on others, but you're being seen as a leader. And that's what they're trying to show you. The golden key is to keep being the leader and don't worry about the threats. Don't worry about the gossip. Who cares? Those people, they've got their own crap to deal with, and let them lay in the beds that they've made. Don't let them make your bed, because they're bringing in bed bugs and dirty stuff and shit on the sheets. Excuse me, I don't usually curse, but it came out before I could stop it. Whoa! Okay, so, but you know what I mean, right? Like, shoot, they've been wiping their nose on the sheets and all that stuff, and they're trying to make your bed. Don't let them. Don't let them make their own bed and lay in their dusty sheets, okay? Because you don't have to. You got nice, clean, white, sparkly, purified by divine sheets, and you get to go in and be cozy like a cloud and lay on them. Do that. Keep being yourself. Wow. This is a great message. So this is what I see here for you. If you feel like this is your message, I am pretty sure there's a shield emoji down below. So leave that down below and say, I deflect all negativity and gossip. I send it back to whoever sends it to me, knowing that I am a leader and I shall prosper because divine source has my back and always will. And I lay on clean sheets. Why? Because we got to include it, right? So, so with that being said, if you felt like it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find all those links in the description box in order to do so. You can email me for a personal reading, and you can even join as a member on the channel. I would love to see you on memberships, but if not, thank you so much for your continued support. I want to take a quick second and thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, as well as a special shout out to the ancestors for coming through with this golden key message. And until next time, stay human. Bye.